Thank you for accepting our invitation. Thank you to be here on Mogurele. Please tell us something about you.
Okay. So thank you very much for inviting me to be here. First of all, my name is Alexander Kuhn. I'm originally from Germany. I was born in Munich or close to Munich. I did most of my studies in Munich until the age of 25. So that means more or less up to the what is called now master degree. Previously it was called diploma. So I have a diploma in chemistry. Very general, no specialization, just very general background in chemistry. And then I moved for my PhD thesis. I moved to France, to Bordeaux, at the University of Bordeaux. And there I did a PhD in physical chemistry, electrochemistry. And after my PhD, I went to the California Institute of Technology in California. Spent fantastic 1.5 years there. Maybe biggest mistake in my life to come back to Europe. I don't know. You can never do the control experiment, So it's definitely not something I can be 100% sure, but I had a really...
Disappointment?
No. I had a lot of fun over there from a professional point of view, from a private point of view. And but after 1.5 years, for more private reasons, I decided to come back to France. I got a permanent position at the University of Bordeaux as a assistant professor. In France, it's called maître de conférence. Okay? And since then, I'm teaching in Bordeaux. After a few years, I became full professor. In the meantime, I went for a sabbatical back to the United States in 2008, just to get some fresh air, some fresh ideas, some fresh blood.
To recharge your batteries.
To recharge my batteries, exactly. And so I have a quite active group of people around me, postdocs, PhD students, master students. Biggest size of the group at some point when I had enough money was around 15 students working directly with me. The lab is a little bit bigger because I have other colleagues, permanent people. And we are mostly interested in the very general sense, in electrochemistry. This is, for me, I always say in interviews, for me, it's the science of the 21st century. If you think about all things where electrochemistry is involved, and I'm even not mentioning the very classic things like batteries and so on, but you think about glucose sensing is based on electrochemistry, many other things, even photovoltaics and photocatalysis for making green hydrogen. Everywhere you have electrochemistry involved. So globally in my group, we are interested in all topics where, to make it short, electrons are moving around. Okay? This is my occupation.
Okay, today I have a presentation.
Yeah.
What can you tell us about that? What it was about in your presentation?
Well, because the topic here of this conference or of this workshop was about health issues and pharmaceutical industry, I tried to select a couple of things out of the large spectrum of activities that we have in my group, which fit from a fundamental point of view to this topic. It was not directly dedicated to some specific health problems, but it was more about new concepts, unusual concepts, and what I presented was dedicated to one concept that we use quite a lot in my group in Bordeaux, and this concept is called bipolar electrochemistry. So it's a little bit different from traditional electrochemistry. Traditional electrochemistry, at least the electrochemistry that you learn in the textbooks, you have 2 electrodes, sometimes 3 electrodes, classic setup, then you do voltammetry, amperometry, and things like this. Bipolar electrochemistry, which by the way we call sometimes also wireless electrochemistry, you use an object which is not connected directly to a power supply. It's just sitting in a solution and it's getting polarized by the presence of an electric field. And this is triggering on this object, which is not connected, 2 different redox reactions, one oxidation and one reduction. And I showed a little bit an overview, a very fast and
You show the public, the audience, even some application of your ideas.
Yeah.
It was very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I mean, we are, let's say my global philosophy in science is you always should start doing research at the fundamental level, yeah? And then once you understand the fundamental concepts, in some cases, not always, in some cases, some applications open up, okay? But quite naturally. So it's more a kind of a bottom-up approach that I like. So you start with curiosity questions. Why does this happen? Can we understand this? And in the end, eventually there's an application, or sometimes this is just for fun and there's no application. Yeah?
Listen to you now just got me some ideas, or I just remember how the electromagnetic field was discovered. Mm-hmm. So why that, what happened? Why is that it's happened? Why is that is doing, and so on. So listen to you, my first thing was how the electromagnetic field was discovered. So I have another curiosity. How is your life, research life in France? How easy for you is to get funding from your idea and for your programs? How it is now? How was 10 years ago? How we compare it?
It's a very interesting question. It changed quite a lot, I think. When I came back from the United States, it was still possible to get rather easily, I would say. I mean, you always have to fight a little bit for money, but it was rather easy to get still some funding for fundamental research. Just, let's say, what I call blue sky research, okay? And this was possible on the regional level with the regional government, which is the region in Bordeaux is called Aquitaine. So the regional government of Aquitaine, they had a certain quite important budget for research, not necessarily for some specific applications. This was working quite well for a few years, but then gradually it was drifting to research proposals where you were only eligible when you had an industrial partner, which implies obviously that your research should be orientated towards some application, okay? And then they ask you now systematically to tick boxes. So we have to promise all the time that we will save the world, we will help people for getting better health.
So they are looking for a practical result.
Yeah, it's top-down. And this is exactly the opposite of what I like. I mean, I like bottom-up. So you start with curiosity-driven research, and then eventually something pops up, which is an application.
You like to play.
Yeah,
with
to
science.
play.
You like to play with science.
I always say, and people are laughing at me, I mean, my main motivation, and I think this is the best motivation to do science, is you want to have fun, okay? If there is no fun, there will be no good results, okay? So we, that means me and my students, we are very egoistic. We just want to have fun, okay? And that's it. And
you look like a kid with big toys.
Yes, I completely agree. I mean, I'm a grown-up kid, but still mentally a kid, I think, and I want to play. Yeah, and I think it's the bad reaction or the bad direction to go to say, aha, we want to solve this problem, so it will be funded top down. You will get money if you solve this problem. It's not working. It's not working
it's
because
like mathematics.
Then you have to promise something and you are not sure that you will be able to keep your promises. I hate, for example, these call for proposals where you have to say now what are the milestones that you will reach in 1 year, in 2 years, in 5 years. I mean, you promise something which is either you can keep your promise, but this means intrinsically that you already knew what is going to happen, and that means that by definition the topic that you proposed is boring, because if you know already what happens in 5 years, then it's something that what I call mainstream research, right? Mm-hmm. It's predictable, and if it's predictable, it's boring, okay? What I like is unpredictable things, and then you cannot say I'm getting to this milestone in year 2026 and then I will have this delivery in year 2027. This is stupid.
Because you like to play.
Yeah.
And I saw your presentation at the end, some invitation on Bordeaux region. You are, I don't know how to say to you, you are afraid about interaction with AI?
No, not necessarily. I think I'm rather optimistic that anyway, AI will never replace human creativity, you know? let's take an example. AI is based on information that is collected from existing things. Okay?
Correct.
And then AI is just trying to combine these existing things.
And to understand them.
To understand them, to analyze them, to synthesize the information out of the existing things. So now let's take a specific example. You ask AI to generate an idea for a new type of light source. Okay? So AI knows the existence of fire, existence of candles, existence of light bulbs. What will AI do? It will try to combine all this and maybe make you a suggestion. Interesting or not, I guess not so interesting. Do you think that AI will come up with the laser? No, it's impossible. AI will not be able to generate with its non-existing creativity the idea of a laser. The laser came from a curiosity experiment by some physicists who just played around with concepts, and suddenly there was a monochromatic light with high intensity, and then this was leading to all the applications that we know right now, whether it's eye surgery, whether it's reading CDs or cutting metal plates. But AI would never have been able to come up with such an idea.
So you are telling us AI can synthesize all the information, can make a resume,
Yeah.
but it's impossible for him to come with new ideas, to go to next level, next step.
Yeah, I mean, that's perfectly illustrated by this example. Yeah, I think it's impossible because AI can use as a source of information only the existing stuff, but it cannot be creative per se and have this step of what we call a quantum leap. Yeah, so you step up by it's a change of paradigm. AI is not able to make a change of paradigm. It will be always a combination of already existing things. Maybe something a little bit original will come up, but not really groundbreaking new discoveries. This needs real human creativity. So I'm not afraid. And okay, it's a tool like many other tools that we got in the last 20, 30 years with internet and so on. We can use it. We should not overdo it, but it will never replace human creativity.
Did you try it?
Not extensively. Sometimes, for example, I don't know, for generating some nice pictures or something like this, for illustrations of your research work. So you enter a couple of keywords and then some nice images appear. But I never used it in terms of intellectual input, no.
How do you see AI using in order to write articles?
Never.
But do you think some other guys are gonna use it?
Yeah,
I'm
I'm 100% sure students will use it or already using it, okay? And we will face quite difficult times to distinguish between what is really originally written by the student and what was generated by AI. This will be a challenge to distinguish, but we cannot prevent it. I mean, it will be like this. Personally, I never used it so far. I don't know whether I'm going to use it in the future.
I guess think
no.
appearance of AI will be a point of turn in our history? Like when we start to discover the engine, when we discover electricity, it was a point of turn in our history.
Yeah.
Because our life was better, it was evolved and so on. Do you think AI will have the same impact?
It will have a rather big impact, is my feeling right now. I'm not sure that it's going to be a real revolution. It's a tool. It's a little bit like, internet and so on was also kind of a revolution. So it's on the same level, I would say. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know whether it's worth calling this a revolution. If you want, yeah, then if internet was a revolution or all the word processing and all the different IT tools represent a revolution, then AI will also be a kind of a revolution, yeah.
Okay, at the end, do you have some words for our organizer?
I think it's fantastic to have this kind of small-scale workshops, yeah. I hate these big conferences with 1,000, 2,000 people. you are unable to meet the people that you know definitely they are at the conference, but you never manage to see them because they get lost in 20 parallel sessions. So I like these small scale events up to, I would say, 200, 300 people, mostly these kind of family meetings. There are a couple of conferences like this where I regularly attend every year or every 2 years because it's like meeting my family, my scientific family.
One small question. How do you feel about online?
It's horrible. Forget about it. I tried it several times because I was curious how it works and I was invited. And I was completely disappointed and I decided to stop and never ever do any online conferences and online teaching anymore. No, it's horrible because you don't get any feedback. I mean, I have one example where I was supposed to be on a online, or it was a hybrid event in Asia. So I gave a talk which was actually pre-recorded, okay? So then they just play your video. So you had to send beforehand, you had to send your 20 minutes video. And then they organized a kind of a discussion session at the end of the day. First of all, there's a problem with the time shift, okay? Because the end of the day is not the same for us and for Asia. And then during this discussion session, I was there, I was connected, the chairman was connected, and maybe 2 or 3 other people, and that's it. So no, I mean, for me, it's a loss of time, and I cannot imagine seriously that somebody can stay connected and attentive in front of a computer screen 8 hours per day. Now, today we were sitting from 9 in the morning until maybe 5 in the evening or 4 o'clock. It's possible physically because then we have a coffee break, we have a chat with this person and this person.
You have interaction.
You have interactions, and then with the online meeting, what do? You have a breakout room, but you will not connect to the breakout room. But what should I do in a breakout room? I cannot drink my coffee, I cannot drink my beer. So, and then you cannot stay concentrated 8 hours in front of a screen. It's impossible, yeah? So no, for me, it's completely impossible to attend these meetings, and I will always refuse to give talks.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
It was a very nice discussion.
Inviting me for this interview. Yeah. Thank you very much.
A pleasure.